Hey everybody, welcome to the webinar. We're here to talk about perfect interview answers, what to say to get the job you want. So what I want to do is ask you guys if you can hear me, let me know in chat. Also, I'm going to toggle my slides. If you could let me know that you see those moving, that'd be great. And then we will get started. So if you can let me know that you can hear me and that you can see the slides moving, then we'll go ahead and get started. We're going to talk about perfect interview answers, what to say to get the job that you want. Also, for those of you who are in this call, if you could let me know what kind of job you're looking for, that's going to help me give you even more specific advice as we go through this training. So just let me know that you can see the slides moving and that you can hear my voice. I don't see anybody commenting there. I need to hear that. I guess I'll type that in there. Let me see. Let me type that in. Can you hear me? Awesome. Everybody says we're good. Awesome. Good. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to talk about perfect interview answers. If you don't know who I am, my name is Peggy McKee. I am an executive recruiter, a career coach, and the author. I'm also the CEO of Career Confidential. Now, we're very well known for our #1 book on job interview questions and answers on Amazon. And we're known for helping over 28,000 people in 92 different countries get the job that they want. Okay, so today we're going to talk about how to get those jobs. We'll talk about 40 minutes about this, and then I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our executive coaching club. And then after that, we'll go into a Q&A session, and I'll answer any questions that you have at all. So let's go ahead and get started. Most of you have figured out the chat because you're telling me that you can see and hear me. That's awesome. You can type your questions in there as well. Those will be the questions that I will answer for you. We're also going to give you a free gift today. It is the Job Interview Prep Kit. It is a fabulous gift. We've actually had people tell us that that got them the job that they wanted. So we will give you that. Sheila will let you know when you get that. I want to know how many interviews you guys have. Do you have multiple interviews scheduled in the next 4 weeks? If you could let me know in chat. Do you have multiple interviews scheduled in the next 4 weeks? It's important to have multiple interviews because you need somewhere between, well, there's some experts out there who say that you need to have somewhere between 10 and 20 interviews in order to get an offer. But what we see here at Career Confidential is if you have 5 to 10 interviews, you're going to get an offer with our tools and with our training. So I want to know how many of you have multiple interviews scheduled in the next 4 weeks. This is a key performance indicator of how your job search is going. David says no. Anybody else? Hi, Glenn. Hi, Ariana. Hi, Chris. If you have not signed in with your name, you can. Awesome, Ariana. Okay, so looks like most people do not have. Chris has got multiple interviews. Chris, can you tell me what kind of job you're looking for? All right. We're going to talk about how to sell yourself for the job, how to communicate effectively, give perfect interview answers, and how to ask the one question that will put you over the top. You're going to hear the magic words, phrases, and tips that will convince hiring managers to extend job offers. Now, why are these words so special? It's because they allow you to communicate critical concepts like, I'm going to be a good hire for you. I can solve your problems. You're going to love having me on your team. This is all about selling yourself, right? To sell yourself for the job, you need to communicate effectively with the hiring manager, give perfect interview answers, and ask the one question that puts you over the top. These concepts are so important. It isn't just about telling the hiring manager what they want to hear, but packaging yourself in such a way that you're attractive to them by saying, hey, I have this and I've got this too. Be strategically conscious of your overall mission in the interview and knowing how to answer those interview questions. Knowing the right thing to say to close the deal as well. Now, if I were to ask you what your mission in the job interview is, many of you would say that it is to get the job, but that's a little bit too far down. It's not quite true. To be most effective, we got to break this down. You want to address the concerns that the hiring manager has. By the way, your free gift is over there on the right-hand side, that interview prep kit. It is fabulous. Definitely download that and look at that after this presentation because it is so important and it makes a big difference. I've actually had people tell me that they feel like they got offers just because they went through that prep kit. Okay? So the first thing is, do you understand the job? Can you do the job? Will you do the job? And do you pose a risk to his or her own continued employment? Every hiring manager needs to have these questions answered in order to feel comfortable in hiring you. They won't come right out and ask these questions, but they still care very much about the answers. So don't say, I haven't done that, but I've done this, because all that they'll hear is, I haven't done that. Talk in a positive way about what you've done and relate that back to them. Connect the dots. Show that you understand how to be successful with those goals because you've done the same or similar things before. This is all about how to communicate that you might not have worked in this role before, but you've done everything necessary to prepare and you are ready. Okay? A great way to overcome a lack of experience is to job shadow. Have you ever heard of this? Job shadowing is when you follow someone with experience through their day to see what they do. You end up with insider information you just can't get any other way, and you'll be surprised at how much better you will interview after you complete one. It's especially helpful if you're moving from one career to another, if you're a recent graduate, or if you've been out of the workforce for a few years. Arranging and completing a job shadow shows that you have initiative and that you're willing to do what it takes to educate yourself to be successful. The second concern is, can you do the job? And this is different than, do you understand it? The very best way to address this concern is to talk about your education, your background, your knowledge, your experience. When you answer these questions, make sure that you use appropriate stories about your past experiences as examples of how you've done this or something similar to this before. And then show them examples of your past success with a brag book. A brag book is an amazing resource for you because it provides evidence of your past success. It proves that you can do the job. Harrison, can you let me know what kind of job you're looking for? Okay. A brag book is a folder or a binder that can include things like letters of recommendation, attaboy notes, staff rankings, annual reviews, reward letters, your resume, types of equipment you've used, certifications, educational courses, any financial or PowerPoint presentations, copies of articles you've written, brochures you've developed, or anything that shows I've done well in the past, I can bring these skills to work here for you. It's best if these things relate directly to the job, but if you don't have a lot of experience, that's okay. Just like your interview answers, you can use what you do have to connect the dots for them to show how your skills will transfer. Either way, your book will act as a reference for you that can prove your past success. The third concern of all hiring managers is, will you do the job? This is a concern about your work ethic and your future on the job. The best way to show a hiring manager that you will do the job is with a 30, 60, 90-day plan. Okay? Do you take a 30, 60, 90-day plan to your interviews? Go ahead and answer me there in chat. While you do, I'm going to read to you a couple notes from some folks who have used the 30, 60, 90-day plan. Cynthia Cami says, Peggy, I wanted to thank you for your help today. I got the job, Director of HR. It was higher than what I had applied for. I know a lot of it had to do with that 30, 60, 90-day plan. I listened and watched your videos repeatedly on strategically answering interview questions. I will recommend you over and over again. I am your biggest fan. And Greg Morrissey says, Peggy, I want to let you know I used your 30, 60, 90-day plan twice now, and it really works. In both cases, I was offered the position the next day. Comments from the company claimed they'd never seen the approach before, and it really set me apart. Both positions were well over $150,000 yearly. So thank you for the tips. It was well worth the money. Greg Morrissey. And Drag Ray said the 30, 60, 90-day plan helped me in landing a job that I'm more than qualified for, with a salary and benefit package that I'm happy with. After being off work for a year, I'm looking forward to being a contributor to my new company. Regards, Jack Ray. Okay? All right. So, Let's go see what the question is. A few of you are saying no, you're not using the 30, 60, 90-day plan. So see, this is a big opportunity for you. If you haven't heard of this, the 30, 60, 90-day plan is a written outline of what you'll be doing on the first 3 months on the job. It's divided up into segments, okay? The first is where you're focusing on training and getting to know the company. The next 30 days, the 60-day part, is where you're getting up to speed. And the last part is where you're setting goals and starting to contribute as a fully functioning, contributing, problem solving member of the organization. These plans can be as detailed or simple, but they must be specific to the job and to the company that you're interviewing with. Now, what kinds of things might you include in a plan? Well, a new sales rep might spend time learning the CRM software. They might schedule a speaker program in the second month, and by the third month, be drumming up new business. Now, I'm not going to read through all of these, but these are a few quick ideas of what you would put in the plan. Every plan should have a full page of activity for each 30-day section, and a plan does take some time and effort to put together, but the results will be amazing. Okay, a specific plan proves that you've done your homework on the company, and that right there shows that you can step right into the job. It helps the hiring manager visualize or see you in the job, and that visualization is a big motivator. As you go over your plan, you'll demonstrate your critical thinking skills, your communication, your strategic thinking skills. You'll show that you prioritize and set goals. This is very important. It makes the hiring manager think, wow, we need this kind of thinking in our company. We can't let this one get away. If you want to stand out from your competitors, you need to include this. Okay? All right, so let me tell you about Derek. Derek had been out of work for 5 years because his wife had died and he had two small kids. So he stays out of work and then he starts looking for a job after they get into primary school. He's having a hard time getting interviews, and even when he does go to the interviews for jobs he could do with his eyes closed, he doesn't get the offer. So, before the next interview, he got the Career Confidential 30, 60, 90-day plan. And I'll have Sheila put a link in the chat for you guys about those plans. We do include all 4 plans in our Executive Coaching Club. A librarian, by the way, Ariana, would use the action plan. If you're a manager, you'd use the manager's plan. If you are an executive, we have an executive plan, and we also have a sales plan as well. So he took the manager's plan because he was an operations manager, and they were so impressed with him that they asked him to come back and interview for a more senior role, which he did again, and he brought the plan for that. And guess what? He got the better job at the higher salary. Now, when you look at that, think about it. Without the plan, no offer. With the plan, offer. Without the plan, he was qualified. He could have done the job with his eyes closed. He still didn't get the offer. With the plan, they loved him. They created a larger position for him. He got a better job with more money. That's what you want, right? The 90-day plan makes this happen for you. Your communication will be stronger so that you get the offer. Your offer will usually be stronger because of it. If you want to negotiate, you'll be in a stronger position, and they'll have a positive bias towards you as you start work, and that's going to benefit you as you move forward in the role and lead to promotions. When you're up for the promotion, you'll need to use the 30, 60, 90-day plan again. So make sure that you take a 30, 60, 90-day plan to every interview that you have from now on. Now, the last concern of the hiring manager is, do you pose a risk to his or her own continued employment? I can tell you that I hired a gentleman named Jeff Voles back in the 90s, that my manager told me that if Jeff failed, I would lose my job. Okay, so that's quite stunning. It really makes you think about it. Hiring you is a risk. If you don't do well, they don't do well. You need to minimize their feeling of risk so that they'll be comfortable making you the offer. That's why the stories help. That's why the brag book helps. That's why the 30, 60, 90-day plan is so effective. And that's why it matters so much how you answer the interview questions. The more interview information that you can give them about how well you've done in the past and how you'll perform in the future, the better off you are. Okay? When hiring managers are deciding between two candidates, they don't want a coin toss. They want a clear winner. The 30, 60, 90-day plan makes you the clear winner. Now let's make this a contest between you and your identical twin. Okay, because you were in this webinar, let's pretend that both of you have an interview tomorrow. And because you were in this webinar, you're going to bring a 30, 60, 90-day plan to that interview. and that's going to help you display your critical thinking skills, your knowledge, your drive, your energy, and your enthusiasm because of the job. Because of the research and knowledge that you gain putting the plan together, you and that hiring manager are going to get in a deeper conversation about the company. No, Ariana, there is not an extra charge for the plan. It's part of your program. Ariana ordered the executive coaching club yesterday, so she will get all 4 plans as a part of that club. Okay. You and the hiring manager get into a deeper conversation about the company, the jobs, their problems, and how you're a solution for them. The manager is going to be able to see you in the job. He's going to be able to visualize you in the job. Okay. Now, here comes your twin. Comes in for the interview empty handed, or maybe she brings her resume. Here's my question for you: who's going to get the offer? You can say, I will, or my twin will. I will, or my twin will. Now, I'm going to have you listen to Erin. Erin's an HR director in Oklahoma City. She lost her job. She joined our executive coaching club. Yes, Chance, it is included in the executive coaching club. And I want you to hear what her experience was. Here she is.
I am an HR professional. Have been looking really a short amount of time. Position was eliminated briefly at a company and found myself having to start this search. Utilizing the coaching program with you, Peggy, I literally started it on a Wednesday, realistically, and interviewed with a company, had a second interview 5 days later, and had a job offer within a week. So it was amazing.
All right. So it's pretty stunning, I think, right? All right. So let's keep going here. Carolina used the 30, 60, 90-day plan in 2 different interviews in the same week and received 2 offers. In fact, one interview became an onboarding discussion of how she would approach the job. So see, by bringing the plan, the interview automatically turned into a scheduling or onboarding conversation. 2 companies made her an offer. They both saw her value because of that. I love these notes that I get from people. Okay, having a plan is the #1 way to complete your mission in the interview, addressing the 4 concerns of every hiring manager. And those are: do you understand the job? Can you do the job? Will you do the job? And do you pose a risk to his or her own continued employment? If you don't answer these questions, you won't get the offer. Now we're going to move on to some specific interview questions and answers, and one specific question that you need to ask. In just about every interview, you'll have 4 common questions. They may ask these questions with slightly different wording, but they are essentially the same. And they are: tell me about yourself, why should we hire you, why do you want to join this company, and what's your greatest weakness? Each one of these questions is trying to uncover the issues that could cause a problem if they hire you. Remember, you represent a risk. So let's deal with the first one. Tell me about yourself. This is so important. Some people think of this as an icebreaker question, so they answer it like they would in a social situation. They'll say, I've got kids, or I run marathons, but that's not the way you need to think about this. When they say, tell me about yourself, I want you to think, tell me something. What they really want to know is, tell me something that will matter to me as I consider you for this job. This is a golden opportunity for you to set yourself apart from other candidates. It's completely open ended, so you can say anything you want. So think about the job description, and all the research that you did before the interview. And put yourself in that hiring manager's shoes. What is it that she or he are going to be most impressed about? What's going to get their attention? What's going to make them sit up and take notice of you for the rest of the interview? Okay, it's really important what they care about. Now, you might start with your education. If you had a high GPA, you might want to mention that. If you took coursework that's different from your degree but really pertains to this job, you may mention that. Talk about the promotions, the awards, key accomplishments. Not necessarily what you're most proud of, but the things that this hiring manager for this job will be most impressed with. For instance, your answer may sound like this: I received a degree in X from Y University. From there, I took my first 2 roles as an ABC in XYZ company. I received 2 awards or promotions, and then was recruited by competition for another role where again I achieved 2 more X's and was recognized for X, which has led me to you. This answer lets them know that you were recognized, that you were valued, This acts like a powerful recommendation for you. If you were promoted, you might want to mention that. If you gained skills that led you to another role, you'd talk about that. You'll have to put your own spin on this, but this is the general language that you should use to tell the story. You don't need to speak longer than a moment or so. Just deliver a targeted message that says, I'm skilled, I've accomplished great things, and I can bring that to work here for you. This brings us to the next interview question: why should we hire you? This is the ultimate question for selling yourself for the job. Tell them why they need you. Everyone has to be able to answer this question. So you can say, you need to hire me because my skills in X, Y, and Z are a great fit for this role. I'm a good fit culturally. I've performed successfully in this position. I'm going to be able to perform successfully in this role too. Do you agree? So, it's good communication if you ask if they agree with you or if you've answered their question completely. Do you agree? Did I answer the question? Do I need to expand or elaborate? These kinds of follow up questions help you continue the conversation. I want you to think of it in terms of expanding, clarifying, elaborating. You need to make sure that you're on the same page as the hiring manager and that you're communicating what they need to know to feel comfortable hiring you. As a part of that, I want you to talk about how you have what they've asked for in a candidate plus just a bit more. This is really important and it's helpful if you can do it. You don't need a lot, just one more thing that makes you special over and above other candidates. Say what that is and how it's going to help you exceed their expectations for the role. You won't just meet them, you will exceed them. Okay? Now, the third question that we need to talk about here is, why do you want to join this company? You've got to have an answer for that. Is this helpful, guys? Are you learning anything? I'm hoping that it's helping boost your confidence and make you feel a little more powerful as you answer these questions. Let me know in chat. Otherwise, I'm just over here chatting away to myself. Okay? All right. Why do you want to join this company? Why do you want to work here? This is another risk issue. Answer the question and give some specific examples to back it up. You could say, I want to join this company because, and then give them 3 reasons why. The first one could show fit in terms of skills or experience. I can see where my skill sets would benefit you in this particular position because they would. I would benefit personally and professionally from that. If I can come in here and fix this problem for you, I'm sure you'll have other problems that I can fix down the road. This looks like a good future to me. The second one could show it in a different way. Another reason I want to join this company is that I like the culture. I've been reading about the company. It seems like a great fit for my personality and values and who I want to work for. And then you could say something that personalizes it a bit more, like the job's in a great location, or I've always wanted to move here, or it's only 5 minutes from my house, I love the short commute, or I've always used your products, I love them, and I'd be excited to be a part of it. These answers sell your skills while they build rapport with the hiring manager. Now, the next interview question is, what's your greatest weakness? I personally hate this question, but you have to expect that you might get it. The hiring manager doesn't really think that you're going to tell them something terrible about yourself, but if you do, they will cross you off the list. Okay? They want to know how you're going to react to a difficult question that you know is coming, so how prepared are you? And the answer that you give them will give them insight into your personality. As in all job interview answers, you have the power to mold and shape this answer so that it serves you best while sticking to the truth. Now, I'll tell you that what I use is a real weakness that does cause me problems in my personal life, but that is actually a strength in my job or in my professional life, and that is I'm incredibly impatient. And that has caused me to get stuck in Louisiana. It's also caused me to break a freezer because I pushed too many buttons at once. I mean, there's a lot of different things that I've done in my personal life because of that impatience. But in my professional life, it has been a very big positive because I've pushed further and faster than others do because of that. So I've got some examples here. You could talk about being frustrated with people who don't work as quickly as you do, and you could talk about how you work fast and you're dedicated. You could talk about the fact that you can't stand it if others aren't as serious or as dedicated as you are. But thinking about the greatest weakness question requires a little more strength and creativity and thoughtfulness on your part, but the strategic advantages that you will gain from it will be worth it. Now, my question to you, now that we've talked about that 30, 60, 90-day plan, is if you brought a plan to your interview, do you think you would get more offers? Do you think you would get more offers? If you brought a detailed, comprehensive 30, 60, 90-day plan to the interview, do you think you would get more offers. I had a lady named Karen. She had interviewed 18 times before she met us. She got an offer in the last two after she used our tools, which tells me that we could have had like 7 or 8 offers, right? And Karen is worth $10,000 a month. She made over $120,000 a year. So that means that during those 11 months, she lost $110,000. Okay, this is a big opportunity for yourself. You've got to become strategic in the interview preparation. When she met us, she didn't go and get another degree or certification or anything. David, in our tools in the Executive Coaching Club, you will receive our 30, 60, 90-day plan. And in the plan, you'll also receive video coaching on how to present it. So I walk you through exactly what to do. It's very powerful. David, did you tell us what kind of job you were looking for? So everyone is saying yes. If you brought a detailed, comprehensive 30, 60, 90-day plan to the interview, you would definitely get more offers. Okay, so what we've done so far is we've answers to the four most common. Okay, Ben, I'm glad you found our class too. Okay, and yes, I know losing money on the job search daily. You gotta get the tools and be strategic so that you can get the interview. It's a sales process. You're the product. You also happen to be your own sales rep. The hiring manager is the customer. You want to ask them the question that closes the sale. Now, there's a couple different ways that you can ask this. You can say, "Are you confident I'm someone who can meet the challenges of this position? Are you going to move me forward in the process? Can we schedule the next step? Do you see me as a successful member of your team? Okay. Do you see me as successful within this role?" There's two other ways you can ask it. You can say, "Do you see any reason why you wouldn't hire me for this job?" Or, "Is there any reason I won't move forward in this process?" These are really important. Okay. Now, the first five are the best ways while you still have a chance. Right now in the interview is your best shot at getting the offer. So let me ask you guys, how do you close for the job in the interview? Go ahead and answer that there for me. I'm going to get a drink of water and let you guys answer that. I'm going to let you listen to Dave. Dave joined our executive coaching club and used our Hidden Jobs Finder, which is a part of that club, to find and contact hiring managers. And I want you to hear how that went. Here we go.
Hi, Peggy. My name's Dave. The reason I'm calling is that I'm a very satisfied customer. I took a webinar in mid to late July, and we had talked about reaching out to hiring managers, how to do that, how to download the LinkedIn contacts. So I acted upon that on Thursday, and on Friday, the following after the webinar, I contacted some hiring managers. I got immediate responses from several of them. One was particularly interesting, so I just want to let you know, based on that, I started a new role this Tuesday in a big data, AI, analytics field and IoT field. And you mentioned this at one of your webinars recently about someone talking about their current role was about 3 years. That's the length of their time. Given that's about my length of time for roles, it's a $600,000 opportunity.
All right. So by joining the Executive Coaching Club, Dave was able to get the interviews and get the offer. And did you hear him talk about what his job search was worth? Okay, so let's look at this. You guys are saying A, C, and D. Okay, the only correct answers here are A, E, and F. Okay, so if you're not closing with a question, you're not closing, not truly. And this is a game changer. In fact, it's so important that in our executive coaching club there's actually an hour of training on this. There's a podcast on it, and there's also training in the Total Access Coaching Club, which is part of the executive coaching club. And Sheila has the link, and I'll take a copy of that and put it down below for our executive coaching club. There you go. Okay. All right, let's keep going. So this is a big opportunity for you guys. If there's any doubt that you're a right person for the job, you want to know right there so you can get past it in the interview. Okay? What if you uncover a doubt that you can't remove? Well, that's okay. At least you'll know now why they didn't move forward with you. But maybe it's something small, like they didn't know that you had experience with their CRM, or maybe they thought you needed relocation expenses, but you don't. And if they're already leading in your favor, guess what? This will solidify this job in your favor. Okay? So if you can do these three things, right? If you can address the four universal concerns of the hiring manager, okay, the do you understand the job? Can you do the job? Will you do the job? And do you pose a risk to his or her own continued employment? If you can give positive selling answers to the most common job interview questions and then be strong enough to close for the job, you're going to have an excellent chance at getting the offer. Now, I've shown you how to ace the interview. Now we got to get more interviews. It's wonderful to finally get an interview and perform well and get an offer, but it's even better to have interviews at 5 to 10 companies and get 3 to 4 offers. In fact, I want to tell you about a gentleman. He was an IT guy. He was 55 years of age. He'd been looking for a job for 1 year. He decided that he was probably going to need to drop his pay expectations by 50%, because otherwise he wasn't going to get a job. He joined our executive coaching club, and in less than 9 weeks, he had 3 offers. 2 of the offers were so good he said he could have flipped a coin and taken either one of them. One of them he didn't think was as good, but he said if he'd gotten it any time in the year before as he was looking by himself, he would have jumped on it. So he was able to get interviews and get offers within weeks using the Executive Coaching Club. And that's the difference between getting a job and getting a dream job. Now, to do this, you have to do 2 things. You've got to improve your resume, get your resume to the hiring manager. That's how you get those interviews. Okay? Ariana, you're going to be fine. You have our tools, and I'll go over that with you tomorrow in our group coaching call. Okay? So just relax and enjoy the webinar. You'll be all right. Okay, the first method to get more interviews is to improve your resume. See, Ariana has joined my executive coaching club. So Ariana, tomorrow I'm going to review your resume. I believe she did purchase yesterday. Sheila's asking her. The best way to get a call for an interview is to transform your list of job responsibilities into a list of quantified accomplishments. Okay? Quantification is when you talk about your accomplishments in terms of numbers, dollars, and percentages. Ariana is a librarian, so she might talk about the number of books in the library, or she might talk about the number of people that come into the library, the number of computers in the library, the number of staff in the library, the number of floors, or the number of people that the library serves. Like if it was a university library, this number of people in the university, right? Quantifying your accomplishments means to talk about them in terms of numbers, dollars, and percentages. And this is so important that in our Extreme Resume Makeover Kit, which is our tool for updating your resume, we include 400 examples of quantification. Okay, so Ariana, you have that, but what I want you to do is you come to the group coaching call tomorrow. In our executive coaching club, we have a group coaching call every week. I want you to come to that group coaching call, and in that call, I'm going to go over your resume with you, and I'm also going to go over your LinkedIn profile with you, and I'll tell you what next steps to take. That's why the club is so amazing, because we walk you through to success. Okay, I promise. So don't worry about this. Okay. So this brings up another question, and I probably should take this question out because everybody answers it correctly. If your resume grabbed the attention of the hiring manager, well, guess what? You would have more interviews. There's no question, right? All right. Now, the second thing that you have to do is we got to get that resume into the hands of the hiring manager or the person who could hire you. If you're like most people, what you've done to date is you've filled out online applications. And those go straight to HR. So what they do, because they receive so many applications, they actually put you through a software system where they're looking. Where yes, I'm looking forward to it too, Ariana. It'll go great. Don't you just need to relax. Come to the club. You'll have your resume. Sheila's going to send you a link to the club, or to the meeting tomorrow, and have your resume and your LinkedIn profile ready, and I will go through that in the club with you voice to voice and tell you exactly what to do next, okay? Now, again, a lot of people fill out applications and those go straight to human resources and then they put them through a software program. It's pretty hard to make it out of there. A lot of people get passed up because of that, because there's too many people applying and you get kicked out. But you don't need HR to be your gatekeeper. I want you to contact hiring managers. contact hiring managers whether or not they have a job posted, because guess what? 70% of all job openings are not posted. This is called the hidden job market. For every job that you see that's posted, there's at least one more that you don't. Contacting hiring managers directly will dramatically increase your opportunities for jobs. For example, Kim was in Ohio. She was 55 years old. She'd been looking for a year. She was disgusted, disturbed, all the D words, right? She got into our executive coaching club. She contacted managers like I told her to. One of them called her back for an interview. He'd never posted her job. He interviewed her and hired her and never posted his job. So guess what? She skipped all of the competition. And that job was $105,000. Now, odds are important. Job searching today is a numbers game. The more interviews you get, the more chances you'll have of receiving an offer. The faster you get those interviews, the faster you'll get a job. Statistically speaking, if you were to contact 20 hiring managers, you'll end up with 1 or 2 interviews. But if you contact 200 managers, you're going to get 10 to 20 interviews. Most job seekers don't understand this, and they get stuck in that one at a time approach. If you'll hit it hard and fast like I want you to, it's much more exciting, it's easier to keep your confidence up, and it will open up more opportunities for you. Now, this brings me to my next question for you. I want to know, if you contacted 100 hiring managers, would you have more interviews? If you contacted 100 hiring managers, would you have more interviews? And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to play an audio of Steve DeVoe, or Scott DeVoe. Scott was in my executive coaching club. What you're going to hear is he and I talking on the club, and he's telling everyone else on the club what success he has had with contacting people and letting them know about the job. So I'm going to go ahead and let you listen to that. I think it's pretty powerful. Here we go. Okay, so this is Scott DeVoe. And let me pull you up so they can see who you are.
But I want to share with you.
Tell us.
I want to share with you specifically about the work that you've done and guided me and helped me just really fine tune a number of things. And for those of you that are just getting involved in this, listen to what Peggy has to say, because if you take direction and follow her advice, hopefully all of you will have some success that I've had over the last 24 hours. Taking the format that you used and the approach email, if you will, and I included my resume in it. Yesterday, late afternoon, I live in the central time zone here in Chicago. I sent out 397 emails. Within the first 13 minutes that I sent out the bulk email, I had a request for an interview on the phone. Within a half hour, I had 3 phone interviews set up for tomorrow and early next week.
All right. Did you hear that? He got 3 interviews. In fact, last week on my executive coaching club, the group call, we had 2 people that had 3 interviews in less than 1 week of joining the club. And we had 2 people that had gotten jobs in less than 2 months, in less than 8 weeks. So this club really makes a big difference. Okay, so the question I had for you was, if you contacted 100 plus hiring managers, would you have more interviews? Everybody is saying yes, and I've had probably 10,000 people say that to me. See, when you get more interviews by improving your resume with quantified accomplishments, with bullet points, and you get your resume to that hiring manager, when you address those 4 universal concerns with a 30, 60, 90-day plan and give selling answers to the 4 most common interview questions and close for the job, you're going to quickly end up with a job offer or 2 or 3 that you're extremely excited about. All of this is about how to sell yourself for the job. The job search is a sales process. You and your skill sets are the product for sale because you want someone to hire you. Your customer is the hiring manager. Your job is to show them your value and make them want to choose you. The normal process of applying for jobs keeps you away from your customer, and you can't make the sale without talking to the person with the money in their pocket and the problem that needs to be solved. This is a fundamental change to job searching, but when you put these strategies into place, you're going to go from struggling, no interviews, very discouraged, to getting interviews you're excited about and offers within weeks. Now, actually, last week, I guess I wanted to tell you about Pam Baker. She joined our club. She'd had 4 interviews in 6 months of job searching. In her first month in the club, she had 4 interviews, and she got an offer in the second month. Now, I told you I was going to give you a chance at some additional training, and here it is. If you want all of the templates, all the reviews, and all the expert guidance that you said you did, if you want the same success that Scott, Dave, Kim, Aaron, and Pam have had, you can have it for one low price. You'll have our perfect resume templates, our perfect cover letter templates. You'll have the 400 examples of quantification, my LinkedIn profile tutorial, the hidden jobs finder with the strategic messages for contacting hiring managers. I will review your resume, your cover letter, your LinkedIn profile, and your 30, 60, 90-day plan. You'll have all 4 plans. See, Ariana, you're going to get all 4 plans. You'll have the networking skills, the interview skills. This is what I was telling you, Ariana. You need to go through that strategic interview approach. It usually costs $97. It is a part of your club. I want you to go through that. The salary negotiations, you're going to have over 200 hours of video coaching, and you're going to have weekly live coaching calls with me. Now, I do charge $400 an hour, so that's over $1,600 worth of coaching each month. So you're going to get over $1,100 worth of products, over $1,600 worth of coaching, and it's all for one low monthly price of $97. You heard Scott DeVoe talk about what a big difference it made for him. You heard Dave talk about what it got for him. This is what you need to get the success that you want. We've had others say that they got the best job offer they've ever received. In fact, that IT gentleman that I was telling you about, not only he thought he was going to have to cut his pay in half. He went from I'm going to have to cut my pay in half to getting the best job he'd had ever at the age of 55. Now you have no risk because you have a 100% money back guarantee within the first 30 days of purchase. One thing that we have to do is we have to limit the number of members in the club. So today we can only allow 5 members in the club, and that's because it's very time intensive, and so we can only have a certain number of people in each call. Now, if you order today, and Sheila's going to give you the link down below, okay, in the chat. If you order today, we're going to give you over $500 worth of tools that are yours to keep even after you cancel the membership, okay? So the first tool that you're going to get is you're going to get my 81 job search coaching videos. This is clear, direct advice, examples, and tips on how to communicate your value, how to answer questions in the interview, how to create a better LinkedIn profile, how to explain a gap, how to close for the job, how to explain a layoff or how to explain that you got fired, salary negotiations, how to crush your interview, and much, much more. This is worth over $400 and it's yours to keep even after you cancel the club. You're also going to receive my 50 job interview questions and answers mock interview tool. Ariana, this was another tool that I wanted you to go through as soon as possible because this will make you stronger in all interview situations. 99% of the people who have used this tell us that this made them stronger immediately. So this is really important, okay? All right, you're also going to receive my 50 job interview questions and answers, and you're also going to receive my 100 tough job interview questions ebook to prepare for that interview, and my podcast 6-pack, which will include the telephone interview prep podcast, the brag book podcast, the references, the behavioral event interviews, the panel interviews, and closing for the job. So that normally costs $67 every month. It's yours, or for other people, it's yours to keep even after you cancel your membership, as long as you order before the timer is up. So you'll be able to get all of these tools for just $97 per month. It is a big deal. It makes a big difference in your job search. So you've got 24 minutes to order in order to get those additional bonuses. Patrice said this helped her edge out candidates with more experience. How about that? And Cynthia Cami, I read this to you earlier. She got the job bigger than what she had thought, and she knew a lot of it had to do with the 30, 60, 90-day plan plus the strategic interview approach. And Ariana, that's what I was telling you you needed to go through right now is that strategic interview answers. Okay. Um, so this is kind of like coaching. If you've noticed, none of these football teams, none of these tennis people, not even swimmers don't have a coach. They all have a coach. Why? Because with a coach, you can get farther faster. I want to be your coach in your job search. Now, I want you to listen to what Joel Philhauer said. He used our tools. He was only in the club 2 months, but I want you to hear how that went.
Yeah, Piggy, I'll tell you what, it was probably the best $197 I've ever spent. I'd been battling the job market there, going to the job boards, and getting 100 emails a day telling me all these great opportunities, and I'm filling out the applications and getting no response at all. And I came along and saw your advertisements and attended one of your webinars. And spent the money on the products that you sell, the information, the guidance that you provide, and so I spent the money. And after 3 months of nothing, 10 days later, after writing to people out there on LinkedIn and working with my network, within 10 days I had a response of somebody that wanted to talk to me. And I went, and within 2 hours, from moment of introduction to the job offer, took about 2 hours. And I've been with this organization now for almost 3 months. It's a great opportunity, and I couldn't have done it without you.
So Joel got a job making $150,000 a year by using our club and investing in himself for 2 months in the executive coaching club. If you had a car that would pay you 50 or 60 or 70 or $80,000 a year to drive it, you would definitely put $200 or $300 worth of tires on it. But I'm not asking you to do that. We had a gentleman named Tom Skelton that was in the club 4 weeks and got a $100,000 job. And you could have put a lot of cash in your pocket when you shave just weeks off your job search. So to order, what you need to do is go ahead and click on the green order online, the yellow order by phone, or the blue order by email, or send us an email at support@careerconfidential.com, or click on the link that we've put into the chat. But this is what you need in order to get the interviews and the offers that you want. So now we're going to go ahead and go to the Q&A session. I want to help as many of you as possible in the time that we have left. So if you have any questions at all, please let me know what those are down below. We're going to go ahead and deal with any questions at all that you have. Let me know those down below. Okay, so Chris, in taxation, about 20 to 25% of our customers are in accounting and finance. This will absolutely work for you. David, did you tell us what kind of job you were looking for? I know, Ariana, you've already ordered the club. Congratulations, and I'll see you tomorrow in the group coaching call. Guest 8290 in student affairs. This will absolutely work for you. Guest 1385 in business development. This will absolutely work for you. Let me grab the other questions that we have here. Sheila, I don't see those yet. Okay, so David, you will absolutely get the plan and the coaching on how to use the plan. So Chris, in taxes, absolutely. David, we have a lot of folks from claims that we've worked with. Chris, you can cancel at any time. So like I said, Tom Skelton was only in the club 4 weeks. So he canceled after 4 weeks, so he only paid for 1 month. And you just heard Joel Philhauer's. He was only in the club 2 months. I'm going to play his audio for you guys one more time. Here he is.
Yeah, Piggy, I'll tell you what, it was probably the best $197 I've ever spent. I'd been battling the job market there, going to the job boards, and getting 100 emails a day telling me all these great opportunities, and I'm filling out the applications and getting no response at all. And I came along and saw your advertisements and attended one of your webinars and spent the money on the products that you sell, the information, the guidance that you provide, and so I spent the money. And after 3 months of nothing, 10 days later, after writing to people out there on LinkedIn and working with my network, within 10 days I had a response of somebody that wanted to talk to me. And I went, and within 2 hours, from moment of introduction to the job offer, took about 2 hours. And I've been with this organization now for almost 3 months. It's a great opportunity, and I couldn't have done it without you. The compensation was $150,000 a year, and with bonus opportunities. So it met my needs. I learned that from you. And from your presentations, and like I say, it worked.
All right. So, what are you going to do to get a different outcome in your job search? Okay. So, Chris, I think you need to order, and David, I think you should order as well. I think you're making a mistake if you don't. This is a big opportunity for you. Any other questions from anybody at all? We do have an order from Karen. Congratulations, Karen. And from Bamildile, I don't know if I'm saying that name right. You will receive an invitation to tomorrow's group coaching call. So you'll have that. I'd like to see you in that call with your resume and your LinkedIn profile if at all possible. So we're 2 down, only 3 memberships left. As I said, Ariana has already purchased yesterday. Ariana, I'll see you in the group coaching call tomorrow as well. Okay, any other questions? If I don't get any other questions, I'll go ahead and close out the webinar. Chris and David and Rebecca and Ben, there are 3 memberships left. Go ahead and grab those. You'll be in the group coaching call tomorrow, and we'll get you started, get you a job within weeks. This makes such a big difference. I'm going to go ahead and close out my webinar. I don't see any other questions. If there's anything I can do for you, please let me know, and I'm going to wish you the best. Bye, guys.